You're listening to Not the Sermon with Eric and Jamie.
Well, hello, Sermonauts.
What's going on, guys? And as Phoenix said, it really has just been Eric and Jamie.
It has been. We do have some regretful news to let you guys know. It seems like
Alex moved to Canada.
He's on permanent hiatus.
He's on permanent hiatus. We love you, Alex.
Dude, what does this say about us?
I think we can't find anybody to get on the bus with us. We got a lot of people getting hit by the bus, but no one's willing to get on the bus.
This is our second third wheel.
Yeah.
That we've lost now.
Yeah.
And there's, for the record, there are still great relationships.
Yeah, no, Alex is
with
fine.
Both
He's
Phoenix and Alex.
Yeah, they're both out there making money. Actually, is why
it's job stuff for both of them, and because we do record during the weekday, and as full-time pastors, we can do that.
Yeah,
but I understand it's hard to commit to. But,
hey, and not the.
But why don't? Hey, but why don't people like us? What do you think?
I don't know, man, but I think it might be. I think it might be them, actually.
Yeah, you think so?
I think it's them. I think it's never us.
Okay.
I think I'm
going to believe that.
We offer incredible benefits. I mean, first off, you get to sit with us during the middle of the week. Yeah. You have no pressure of getting paid. There's no pressure on you at all for getting paid.
You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, like you don't have to worry about a paycheck.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that was the goal, to never have to worry about money.
Right.
You don't, being a third wheel here, you do not have to worry about money because you don't get any.
You don't have to worry about being a part of a successful podcast where a lot of people will hear it.
No.
Yeah.
We've been trending downward. Yeah. We're trying to figure that out. So I don't know what it is, man, but we have a job opening.
We do.
If you want to sit and
make the occasional wisecrack.
Yeah. What do we expect out of the third wheel?
I don't know.
Maybe that's also some of the problem. Maybe it's not clear expectations. But the occasional wisecrack, laughing at hysterically at all of the jokes.
Yes, all of our jokes are hysterical.
It'd be great if you could edit videos too.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
But anyways, what's going on, man?
Dude,
first off, you're listening to Not the Sermon.
Yes.
The perfect blend of comedy and theology. The only podcast on the internet that's doing this.
That's right. And our first segment, or some people say seggy,
nobody
is
says
called Shooting the Skybalon, where we shoot the breeze. Skybalon in Greek means poop. And so that's what we're doing. And we have a little song where we make up the lyrics in real time.
Shooting the Skybalon. I remember Goldie Hawn.
We're brunettes, we are not blonde.
Shooting the Skybalon. That was good off the dome. Yeah. Brunettes, not blondes.
Well.
Were you brunette?
Huh?
What color was your hair?
I was blonde as a baby.
You have some brown in it still, but were you a brown-headed boy?
Before I was gray, was I brown? Yeah. I was a blonde-headed little boy, and it got more and more brown. And my hair was like my oldest son. Ethan.
Yeah.
I mean, we look just alike. It's stupid. And so, it was a medium dark brown.
A little schmedium brown. So what's going on with Shooting the Skybalon? What have you been shooting lately?
Bro, I had one of the most terrifying experiences of my preaching career last Sunday.
When you walked out without pants?
No. I might have oversold it right then. Listener, I preach from, and it's funny, we just talked about this last episode. I preach from a tablet.
Yes.
I preach from a tablet because it's just a lot easier. I put the scriptures in my notes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's lighter than paper.
Has
no failure points.
That's right. And I upload it to something where I can always pull it up on multiple documents, phone, whatever. So Sunday, I had a little part where I was reading a letter. I wrote a letter from Jesus to our church, just like the seven.
Oh, how pretentious of you.
I know, right? Just like the seven letters in Revelation, seven churches in Revelation.
Jamie, say.
And so anyway, I after reading it, I have my tablet turned like long ways, right? Landscape. And so I hit the wrong thing, and it split the screen in half.
Yeah.
And so that made my notes too small to read.
Oh no.
Unless I pinch zoom, but then I not only have to scroll up and down, I have to scroll left to right to read everything.
No.
And it was just a serious moment. And now I'm supposed to get on with the message and go back to my notes, and I can't. And I'm thinking, okay, do I stop do I just say, hey guys, my notes are all messed up. I hit the wrong thing. Sounded like a boomer.
Yeah.
And close out and reopen. And I didn't even know if that would fix it, although it did once I did it after the service.
Yeah.
Or do I just kind of fake it till you make it? And that's what I did.
I just faked it out.
Could you tell something was wrong?
No, not at all.
Good.
No, it's fine. I think.
Good.
Yeah. No,
I lied while preaching the word of God.
Yeah. Technology and preaching still don't trust it, man. Like with important stuff, I'm still printing stuff out. I went through a tablet phase, but had a couple similar issues where formatting just wasn't quite how I wanted it. And, or something happened or, whatever, or, you forget to not kill the lock screen and now you got to put your password in. So, I did that. That happened to me, and I had a 2-minute lock screen, and I had to keep unlocking the whole service because I didn't want to stop either and say, "Hold on, guys, let me go to my settings real quick."
Right. That's the problem is when you have a technical issue like that, you got to keep talking, stay on topic, not saying anything heretical. And solve your technology problem at the same time. Yeah. And it would be easier for you if you stopped everything, fixed it, took the 30 to 60 seconds, but that's really awkward.
Yeah, it's really awkward. Sometimes though, and we've talked about this, things are really never as awkward as you think. I remember hearing it was a preaching coach one time talk about how, what happens when you lose your place. He's like, this is everybody's biggest fear. It's my biggest fear is losing my train of thought and having to be like, oh, well, never mind, and sound like an idiot on stage. He goes, so this is what you do when you lose where you're at. You lose your place. You ask your audience, where was I at again? And he's like, you use that as a tool for engagement. You just spin it. You joke it off. You say, hey, hold on. Where was that? No. Tell me, where was I at? And get your audience to see you were talking about this. Oh, that's right. You keep rolling.
And then they'll remember it.
They'll remember it and you just keep rolling. But he's like, use your moment as like a teaching tool.
That's way too vulnerable for me.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. So,
interesting.
I got a really cool notification the other day.
Oh, yeah? What was that?
I had a Google review. That got 100 views.
Oh, so you wrote a Google review.
I wrote a Google review for a gelato shop in Basel, Switzerland.
Have you actually been there, or were you randomly?
I was actually there, and I had the best macaron ice cream sandwich ever.
Wow!
And I told him that, and I got 100 views.
Wow, you're popular.
But then when I told you that, you know what you did? You're like,
sorry.
That's cool and everything at your level. But I have Google reviews that have had thousands of views.
I didn't say it like that.
Yeah, you did.
No, I was like, I affirmed you.
You said, oh, that's really cute.
No, I didn't.
But then I went back and I looked at a couple others, and I did have a couple I had one that had a couple thousand views on it too.
I don't remember which one. I do have one with like over almost 4,000 views.
The man bun is not supporting the headphones this morning.
I was about to say, listener, I know you can't see this, but Eric is rocking the full
on man bun.
The full-blown man bun. It's full-blown.
Full bun.
Full bone?
Full bun.
Full bun.
Yeah, full bun.
The full bun. So he's gone full bun.
Yeah, it's weird. It's almost the headphones are acting as if I'm bald because they keep slipping.
Yes. I mean, look, the Patreon subscribers can see this. Look at that.
Yes.
Magnificent.
I look like Samurai Jack. Shout out 90s kids.
Bun de la man. De la hombre.
Yeah. But yeah, that was cool. So I felt really affirmed after having 100 people. That's 100 people in another country.
I was about to say, and they all knew English.
No, the guy that responded to it was like, it was like French.
In Switzerland.
Well, they speak French, and French, Italian, and German.
Yeah. I remember when I was in that part of Europe,
uncultured.
Our guide spoke like 11 languages.
You have to, man.
It's insane.
I feel so self-conscious about that. I'm like, my name's Eric, and I know one language.
I speak English.
And not that great.
Not that great. And you're probably better at it than I am. Actually, we don't speak English, man. We speak American.
Yeah.
That's American. What we do. Okay, so I wanted to see, I saw this meme as we are still shooting the Skybalon. Okay, and I wanted to see if you could act this meme out for me.
Okay.
Now, this is by a guy I really like. If you guys have not heard of this guy, it's Nathan Pyle.
Never heard of him.
He does a cartoon called Strange Planet.
Okay.
Where he takes seemingly normal things and he has aliens explain them so that they seem really, really weird.
Yes.
Okay. Very funny, very outside of the box thinker. So he posted this meme, and I want, it says, how many duns do you say?
How many duns
do you say? So Law and Order is 2. So would you give us?
Oh. Am I doing the Law and Order?
Do the Law and Order done.
Dun.
Yeah. Yeah. It's 2, right?
Yeah.
All right. 3 is Hit Me Baby One More Time. Do you know that one?
No.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, da, da, da. Yeah. The beginning.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's right.
Okay. All right. 4 is Beethoven's Fifth. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know the title of it.
Okay. I know you got this one because this is your secret restaurant you like to eat at. Even though so I'm loving it.
Da 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 da
da. It's 5.
I'm loving it.
Yeah. So it's 5 duns. McDonald's. All right. 6 is Mario Underground.
Dun it.
That's it.
Dun it.
Yeah. All right. Here you're gonna get this one. 7 duns is Seven Nation Army.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, boom. Dun, 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 dun.
That's it.
Yeah.
So that's 7 duns. And the last one, 8 duns, is Mission Impossible.
Da-da-da.
No.
Da-da-da.
Oh, that one works too, I guess. I was thinking dun, 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 dun. That's 8.
I just did the second part.
I wonder how many that is. Hold on, let's count that. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun. That's 8 as well.
Let's go.
What?
Yeah.
What just happened?
Little magic done.
So there you go. Brother, you were done.
We are. And it's time for a little bit of Houston.
Houston, we have a question.
Houston, we have a question, which is such a timely segment because at the time of this recording, we're sending a few people to the moon on the Artemis 2 capsule.
I didn't know that.
We got some astronauts. Hopefully we can turn them into sermonauts. Dude, how cool of a promo would that be if we were like talking to the astronauts and like, so what's getting y'all through this moon thing? And they're like, man, we've just been listening to Not the Sermon.
We're sermonauts.
Yeah.
We should have sent them a Not the Sermon flag that they could plant on the moon.
Oh, dude, that'd be sick. So Houston, we have a question is a segment where we take questions from our inbox from our listeners that we call sermonauts, and we do the best we can to give you an answer. And today's question comes from a listener named Brittany. Shout out, Brittany.
What's up, Brittany?
And she says, what are Christians called to do when you know that a fellow church member is talking about you to other people, maybe asking questions about you or spreading lies about your family to other people in the church or other church leaders. How is one supposed to act or react to this situation? Are we called to ignore it, ignore them? Are we allowed to approach and say something? When is enough enough? Sounds like a personal question, Jamie.
It does. It sounds like
and I really hope she doesn't go to our church because that would mean it was happening here.
I don't think we know this Brittany, which is wonderful. We love it when we meet new people. And we love it when our church is not gossipy.
Yeah. So this is a good question. And this is common. This is especially common in smaller churches. Let's say the average church size in the United States is like 60 people.
Yeah.
And so that's a pretty tight-knit group of people.
Yeah.
And it is common, I mean, unfortunately, for these groups, these church groups to get a little chatty about each other. And that can be hurtful, especially if you're trying your best. Or, you think you have a nice church family and you find out that maybe some of them are talking bad about you behind your back. And so...
or not even talking bad, maybe sometimes just... talking about your personal stuff.
Maybe sharing stuff about you.
They have no reason to do that. You know what I mean?
And that's like, it's not cool, dude. Makes you feel weird. So
cool.
How would, let's talk about how someone should respond to this, and then let's talk about how we would. Because they're not in our. We have a culture that kind of keeps a lot of that out.
Yes,
we could talk about that, but in this particular situation where we're assuming this person's going to a smaller church, how should they deal with this? Should they ignore it? Should they approach the person? How does this situation get handled?
Yeah. And this is so. There's this. A church is a family.
Yeah.
Especially the smaller it gets, or if you're in like a house church like we have here, or a small group, you become a family, and families know each other's stuff, and it's so easy to turn it into gossip. I love this quote from Voltaire.
Voltaire. Wow, we got a Voltaire quote on the podcast.
18th century French philosopher, very much atheistic, antagonistic to Christianity.
Wow, thanks.
But he was right in this. He says this: everything that is said must be true, but not everything that is true must be said. And so I think that's the mentality we have to have. Because we grow close in Christian community, it's super easy to make this mistake. The church was established to help people, and you can't help people when you're hurting them by talking about them behind their back. And so, I made this mistake. I think everyone's made this mistake. Gossip is one of those. It's a sin. Yeah. And it's one of those sins that's just so prevalent in church because of the nature of church. And so, I think the key is the whole Matthew 18 process that Jesus talks about. I think it's starting around verse 15 or so. I could be wrong. But he says, if someone sins against you, go to them and point out the offense. And then, if they don't hear you, bring a couple of people who are, independent, who can, who can say, hey, this is, this is a big deal, and here's this issue that Brittany may have with this person. Then if they don't listen to them, then you take it to the church or church leadership, and you deal with it. However, when it comes to gossip, I think you escalate it when it comes to like serious matters, like someone wronged you, stole from you, right? Something like that. Gossip, here's what I found, is it usually goes away when you ignore it. And it's really tough. I mean, I've had people talk about me. I'm in a very public position. People say things that aren't correct, or they misinterpret me, or they or whatever. And I want to go into like image management. I want to go into like controlling what people say and making sure that I have the last word and all that kind of stuff. The problem is whenever you bring it up, you continue it. Yeah. Right. And so, Brittany, depending on the specific situation you're in, like if you are in this is like really terrible, serious gossip going on, you need to confront the person and say, hey, and give them a way out. Say something like, hey, maybe this isn't true, but I understand you've been talking about me. Can we go to coffee and talk through this? And maybe you can gain a friend that way.
The goal, and I want to point out the goal in this is to disarm them. Yes. Right? If you're trying to disarm somebody, like with a weapon, you don't go up and try to grab them by the throat and wrestle the weapon away. That's right. Because you might end up getting cut. Right. What you do, or shot, or tased. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get them to lay down the weapon themselves. And so how you approach this, Brittany, is so important. I know it hurts. Gossip hurts. I've had it happen to me. I've gossiped about people and been caught. And if I might share that, but what you need to do is exactly what Jamie says. You need to go and say, hey, this may or may not be true, but this is what I heard, and it really hurt. Yeah. And so, and this is the truth about this situation. And I would just really appreciate if we could, if this could end it here, because this is hurting me, and I love you. Because if you go in defensive mode, like you've been talking about me and blah, 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 you're just going to give them more fuel. Let me tell you. So one time, I was the gossiper, and I've used this in sermon illustrations since. I was the gossiper. It was a close-knit group of friends, and everybody's talking about everybody's. It's an intimate group. You're telling each other's business and stuff like that. And I've always been sort of the jokester and stuff like that. And so some of my jokes to other people when that person was not present were mean. Yeah. They were mean, and I was doing them for a laugh. Well, what I didn't understand is that those people whom I was joking to would then go back and tell the person I was joking about. Yeah. It's not their fault. They were being good friends. Right. And so that person was hurt by what I said and confronted me about it. And I had a choice. I could deny and say, that's not what I said. That's what a lot of people usually do. I didn't say that. I don't know where you heard that from. Right. What I did was I was like, you're right. Why don't you come over for dinner? Yeah. And so I brought him over. I cooked him a meal at my house, and I said, I was 100% wrong. Yeah. What was said that I said, I actually said that and I shouldn't have. I knew it was hurtful. And just, you know, I admired him and, you know, it was wrong of me to do so. And I gained a friend.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, as a person, hey, if you ever been caught in gossip, just own it, man.
Yeah.
Own it and quit doing it.
Yeah.
But if you are trying to confront someone, how you confront them is so important. Do not go in there guns blazing.
Right.
Go in there with a humble heart, humble, you know, countenance, and just say, hey, look, this is what I've heard. I want you to know.
And let them, it hurt you.
It hurt me.
Yeah. Yeah. What happened as a result of their words?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you cannot, if they just won't, if they're like, yeah, well, you did this, and then the best thing for you to do is to drop it.
Yeah.
And let the Lord be your defense. I mean, that's,
bah, bah, bah.
I mean, let the, the Lord won't kill them.
The Lord going to send a hitman after them.
Throwback to earlier episode. But you can't control what other people say,
nope.
right? You can control how you react. And trying to control what other people think or say about you is going to lead to absolute exhaustion.
And you know what helps? I've heard gossip about people, like people come to me talking about someone.
Yeah.
And because that person has such an amazing witness,
yeah.
I will say that's not true.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Paul actually says live your life in such a way that when someone makes an unfounded accusation against you, it's to their shame.
It's to their shame. Yeah, exactly right.
Well, let me just tell everyone this, church. Gossip is sin. It is a sin, and you can't love God and trash his children at the same time. And so let me give you really quickly, and we'll end on this, four tests to know if something is gossip or not. Here's the first one. Is it positive and public information? If it's positive in public, you can say it. If it's not positive and not public, don't say it. It may be gossip.
I heard Jamie is a strong boy because he takes his Flintstones every morning. It's not gossip.
It's just weird.
You do it.
Here's the second one. I take my men's vitamin chews.
He takes some Flintstones.
I take some vitamin gummies. Tiffany calls it my Mott's pack of vitamins. Gummies. Anyway.
All right, number two.
Here's number two. Would you say it to their face? If you're saying something,
say to my face.
If you're saying something about someone to someone else you wouldn't say to them, you probably shouldn't say it.
And not in and I'd say this to their face too.
Right.
Not that kind of way.
Not in that way, but actually, here's the third one. Would you want it said about you? If this thing were being said about you, and you wouldn't like that, I mean, this is the golden rule, right?
Yeah.
Do unto others what you would have them do to you.
Unto others.
And then lastly, did you ask the person you're telling not to share it?
Yeah.
Like if you're saying something,
don't say anything.
Right.
But
you have to qualify it by saying, okay, but don't say anything, then you probably shouldn't say it.
Yeah.
So
good stuff. Thanks for your question, Brittany. And if you have a question you want us to answer on the podcast, send it to us at notthesermon@gmail.com. You just missed me doing the hand jive.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry I missed that. It would have changed my life for the better.
Well, it's time.
What was that laugh?
Little goofy laugh. It is time for Pester the Pastor. This is a segment where we ask each other questions about faith, life, culture. It could be really just about anything, and we get an answer from a pastoral perspective.
Yeah.
This is like one of those things where, like, if you ever just wish you had a pastor's perspective on something, but it's not important enough to call him.
Yeah.
So this is that. And this is the question I have for you, man. So okay. I again, cut my teeth in the Pentecostal tradition.
Oh, you cut your teeth?
I cut my teeth.
Have they healed?
Yes. No, there's still pain. And we would have these moments, and it was very Anabaptist of them, where there'd be a moment in the service where you go, does anybody have prayer requests?
Yeah.
Right. And, the pastor's wife stood on the stage and
cried.
No.
Played the piano?
No.
Oh.
No. Well, sometimes play the piano, but they would just lead the prayer request, right?
Yeah.
And so you'd go around, and there'd be about, in this church of 90 people, there'd be about 8 hand raises.
Yeah.
And 6 of the 8 would be unspoken.
Unspoken.
Unspoken. It's just a bunch of unspoken prayer requests. And then you'd have one that would be like, pray for my cousin's nephew's dog's owner's breeder's nephew's cousin who's having toenail surgery on an ingrown toenail. And and then there'd be no one's actually being real about these prayer requests.
Right.
But it's the unspoken prayer requests that used to bug the snot out of me. It's not because I want to know someone's business, but it's because I want to know how to pray.
Right. How can you pray for something that you have no information on?
I have no information.
That leads to bless prayers.
Yeah, just bless the unspoken.
Bless them. Or would you just bless them with blessings so that they're blessed?
Well, you just double bless them and they're blessing. So anyways, what are your thoughts? Because we don't get them as much anymore. I mean, I'll still get an occasional one, but what are your thoughts on the unspoken prayer request?
Yeah.
That is so Christianese. Like if I walked in as a new believer and I just saw 8 people in a row say unspoken, I'd be like, what in the world is going on here?
I would, if that happened, I would think, wow, nobody trusts each other here.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is kind of funny. We're kind of piggybacking on the gossip, the last segment.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, this is a pet peeve of mine.
She had 3 unspokens. We know what that means.
This is a pet peeve of mine. First of all, logically, as soon as you say unspoken, it's not unspoken because you spoke. Mm-hmm. Right? It's like when someone goes, I'm speechless. Like you literally just gave speech, and so you're not speechless.
It's the same. I'm sorry. It's the same cadence as on Forrest Gump, like when he's trying to sit on the bus and like seats taken, unspoken.
That's great. I mean, are there times when you're asking for prayer, but you cannot give details, specific details? Sure.
Yes.
But here's what I would say. That's when you need to go to a trusted person.
Yes.
And tell them. Right? I don't want anyone to think that it's wrong, bad, whatever, to ever have an unspoken prayer request, but I do think it's not doing what you think it is.
Yeah.
Like you need to find someone and tell them what's actually going, someone that you trust, tell them what's actually going on. And now let's also be honest. There are times, now this is not everyone, but there are times when people do this for attention.
Oh, I would say at least half.
Oh, see, I don't know. I don't want to assume the worst.
Unspoken. Oh, you assume the best. I'll assume the worst. But this is like, so let's assume for a moment that prayer works, right?
Okay,
let's just assume.
Let's just, the Bible's true and God's real, prayer works.
And so now let's paint the picture. You're going to a doctor and you've got an ailment. And the doctor's like, what's going on so that I can formulate a treatment that is going to help you.
Right.
And you go up to the doctor and you go, unspoken.
That's a great
And the
point.
doctor's doesn't have anything to work with.
Yeah.
And he's like, are you sure? Unspoken.
Yeah.
Unspoken.
That's a great point. Is if you really want help in the situation, you'll be willing to admit. Now, if it's dealing with someone else, I know you don't want to gossip, but then again, that's when you go to a trusted leader.
That's a partner. If it's, I could get because prayer requests, man, prayer circles can be the gossip.
They can be.
Like just pray for Sister Charlotte. There was a car at her house the other day, and it wasn't her husband's work truck.
Oh, should we be praying about their marriage?
Praying for her heart.
Oh.
Yep, because we all know that the new AC man in town is quite a young stud.
Yes, there's definitely gossip prayer requests, and we want to avoid those. But I think the other extreme is the unspoken, especially if it's a pattern.
Yeah.
Right? I think it shows a pattern. If I'm at a house church, small group, life group, cell group of some sort, and I'm always... Micro church, and I'm always hearing unspoken prayer requests as the leader of that group, I'm like, there's not safety here.
Yeah, no, that's a great point.
I mean, like, I'm concerned why you feel like you cannot actually tell us what you need prayer for.
Yeah.
Right? Is this a cry for attention? Well, then let's make an appointment and talk through and see what's going on in your life.
Yes.
Do you not trust the process that we have here? Have you been hurt in the past by this? Is there healing that needs to happen? So, yeah, to me, again, every once in a while, I can see there might be a good reason for an unspoken prayer request, but I just, it's not biblical. I mean, can you imagine King David, like after all his stuff with Bathsheba and Uriah, and he's in a small group of guys, and he's like,
unspoken
guys, just pray for my leadership.
And
and
my unborn children.
Or could you imagine like Abraham, like with his group of guys, like, I just need traveling mercies, me and my son.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So unspoken.
Yeah.
Like
traveling mercies.
Like, it's like, if you have a prayer request, admit your need, and ask for someone to pray with you. And if you don't want to do it in a group, then go to an individual.
And I think specific prayers get specific answers.
Absolutely.
And so, and I'm not saying you have to like scientifically diagnose your situation, but like, traveling mercies. Or me and my family are making a long journey, 9 hours. Just pray that everything's good with the car and our health and we don't get sick,
I need a hedge of protection.
I need a hedge. So, yeah. Unspoken prayer requests, I think, they can work in some situations, but I love how you pointed out that if it's rampant, it indicates that there's no trust.
Yes.
Yes. And
either on the part of the people you're asking or on the part of the asker.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's a problem in a small group setting. And guys, like Eric said, specific prayers are answered specifically. And so find someone you trust and tell them what you're going through, what's bothering you, and then pray about it.
Yeah.
Like actually pray about it. Hey, Eric.
Yes.
Do you know what time it is?
No.
It's that time.
Is it?
One of our favorite new seggies. Christian Conspiracies.
Christian Conspiracies. Yes.
That's so dumb.
Yes, creepy. Christian Conspiracies is a segment where we take on conspiracies that intersect with faith. We've talked about Horus and the Horus myth. We've talked about weird Adam and Eve conspiracies.
John the Baptist was really the Messiah.
John the Baptist. This week,
talked about the red heifer. That's when we talked about the red heifer.
red heifer. That was the original.
Yep.
But this week we're going to talk about one that's been around for centuries, and it is the Freemasons.
Yeah.
The Freemasons and their connection to satanic cults. Mm-hmm. If you're not familiar, listeners, especially if maybe you're overseas, I'm not sure if the Masons. I know the Masons originated sort of in like the medieval times in England, but there may not. I don't know how widespread it is anymore.
Europe, the one of the highest degrees, it's like in the early 30s of Masonry is the Scottish Rites.
Yeah,
and so Scottish. So I would think it would be European and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is one of the, and actually a listener did email us about this, and we just decided to put it
listener.
Under Christian Conspiracies instead of Houston. But so yeah, like what's the deal? Now, here's what I found. It seems like a lot of people, when it comes to Masonry and Christianity, I would say err on two extremes.
Yeah.
One is that inside that Masonic lodge, Eric, they are doing sacrifices to the devil.
Yes.
Right? And they're like super serious. And like, if any of that's in your bloodline, you need to immediately go see an exorcist, that kind of thing. Of course, the other side is that it's no big deal. It's just a, fraternal club and nothing really wrong about it. And they do a bunch of good works in the community. And so whatever, no big deal.
Yeah, so let's do a short history.
Okay,
I got a short history of the Freemasons. So the Freemasons trace their roots back to the medieval stonemason guilds. So these were groups of working men. Almost think of them like what are those little trade clubs? Unions. So almost like unions. And they were skilled craftsmen. They organized to protect trade secrets, to regulate training. But they used like password and symbolism that was often integrated into their masonry work.
Right.
And so this is where you get the original symbols being in the buildings.
Like the eyes and
the eyes. And so these guys were a part of essentially a labor union.
Yeah.
But to kind of give a nod to their union, they would build these formations and these symbols into the buildings they were hired to build, which kind of added to the legend of the Freemasons. It kind of made them seem more prevalent than maybe they initially were. However, during the 1700s, it spread overseas. It became less focused on actual masonry.
As did all Europeans.
Yes, as they did. It became less focused on actual brickwork and building, and more focused on sort of like a fraternal gentleman's league. And during the 16 and 1700s is where a lot of the sort of sacred ritualism and secret stuff started building up. You had famous people in the Americas, Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, and many sort of prominent American figures throughout the time.
And that's why, by the way, a lot of people look at like the all-seeing eye and the triangles on the dollar bills, and the conspiracy kind of goes pretty deep in a lot of this stuff. Also, by the way, trade guilds were a thing back in Revelation. A lot of these churches that are getting letters in the book of Revelation, they dealt with trade guilds and worship of false deities and meat sacrifice to idols. It all came from these trade guilds. So, dude, these things have been causing problems for a while. This is not new.
Oh, for sure. And so now in the modern age, masonry isn't as prominent as maybe it once was. However, especially in the 18 and 1900s, when you had the rise of evangelicalism and sort of the modern church, there was a lot of pushback against these secret societies because a lot of these secret societies, we don't know for sure, but we are pretty convinced that they do require some form of oath or spiritual bond through the form of ritual and promise making. That seems to be antithesis to Christian faith. It's almost like, as a Christian, your allegiance belongs solely to Christ, but these institutions like Freemasons like to take a piece of that allegiance.
Yes. And the way that they had people do allegiance ceremonies is like through swearing blood oaths. And they do some pretty wild, they say and do some pretty wild things. They'll do things like, if I ever tell the secrets, my children will be cursed and their children's children. And it's not just like a little, like no big deal. We're just saying some things to make it into a club. It's just a secret password, Mom. You know? It's far beyond that. It really is like pronouncing curses on your progeny, on all your children, your children's children. If you do certain things, there's just some really weird reenactments of your own death. And things like that happen as you keep going up.
A lot of symbolic ritualism.
Yes.
And as we know, ritualism is not solely symbolic, especially when it's attached to spiritual beings. I mean, Paul talks about this with eating a food sacrificed to idols. He's like, if your conscience can handle it, that's one thing. But just know you are partaking with demonic spirits when you eat foods that was sacrificed to him.
He's like, these false gods are demons. Some of them are demons. And so
don't do it flippantly.
Right. So let me just kind of go through, and feel free to jump in as well, Eric. Some of the things that I find problematic about Masonry, and then we'll kind of maybe balance it out a little bit with what it's not. Okay. So obviously, I already mentioned the blood oaths. That's a big deal. Jesus said, let your yes be yes and your no be no. And then he follows that up with a statement that's pretty wild. He goes, anything other than that is from the devil.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty wild. Right?
Yeah.
So to do a blood oath and to do this kind of stuff, it really goes against the teachings of Jesus himself.
Sure.
Okay. Another thing that's the problem is Masons in particular, they don't worship Jesus. They talk about the great architect of the universe. They talk about the light bearer, which some people have said that's actually Lucifer. They talk about a higher power, but it's certainly not John 14:6 that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and the only way to salvation. So it's certainly not a Christian organization. It's more religious pluralism.
Yeah.
Like the great,
I've talked to people that have tried to defend it and say, well, faith in God is a requirement, but it doesn't have to be the Christian God.
Yes.
It can be it's faith in a higher power. As like sort of a moral framework, but it's not like, faith in Jesus.
It's like James said, because you believe in God, well done. Even the demons believe and tremble. So it's certainly not, I mean, faith in God's not a bad thing until it's the wrong God.
Yeah, yeah,
right.
That's
so it's
also
certainly
problematic.
It's certainly not Christian. And so, yeah, so those are my biggest issues with it. Obviously the secrecy, that kind of stuff, it can get a little bit weird.
Just mad because you didn't get invited?
No, I'm not interested, but thanks, dog.
Yeah.
So what, do you have anything else that you would say is an issue?
Here's what I think. I think by and large, most of the modern day Masons are not sitting around knowingly worshiping demons.
Right. Agreed.
A lot of it is like heritage type stuff.
Sure.
Like if your dad was in it, you join it. There's women's groups for it as well. There's children's groups for it as well. I think a lot of it is just kind of inherited. I don't think your average guy is walking around thinking that he's worshiping a demon. I do think he believes to be a part of a secret society that's special. However, there seems to be, from the outside looking in, a place in Masonic history where it went from basic guild to some sort of influence peddling association.
Sure.
That I do believe that at different parts throughout it.
IPA. Influence peddling associations.
Yeah. Where it makes sense. It's like you join the Masons because the guy you're trying to do a business deal was also a Mason, and you have that fraternity and you get that deal.
Right.
I think that definitely happens at a higher level in government, probably still to this day.
Yeah.
And I think
we know that there are a lot of like secret societies.
Yeah.
That like a lot of the especially the Ivy League schools and stuff.
Yeah.
have.
There's Bohemian Grove, which you didn't know about, but Bohemian Grove is a similar one.
Yeah.
Out in Northern California. But I do think that there have been people.
Thanks for pointing out that I didn't know about it.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah. I knew more than you. But I think at some point there was this. I think there is something demonic about it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's inherently demonic. I don't think the idea of being a part of a social club is. But I think when you're a part of one that requires spiritual allegiance, you're committing idolatry.
Look, I'm not cool with giving my allegiance to anyone or anything besides Jesus.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I some people are going to get mad at me for saying this. I struggle with the Pledge of Allegiance, pledging my allegiance to the flag.
Wow. Jamie hates America.
I love America, but giving that's strong wording.
Yeah.
Unnecessarily strong wording to pledge my allegiance to a flag. And so I'll say the pledge, but I'm just kind of like putting your hand over your heart.
Your fingers crossed?
No, but it's just, it's weird. It's unnecessary.
Dude, I always put my hand over my heart. If I'm around a bunch of old dudes, man, you better put the hand on the heart.
Take off your hat too, man.
Yeah. I think I don't want it to seem like I'm minimizing it. Almost all Christian organizations circa the late 1800s, early 1900s would not allow you to join their church if you were a Mason.
Yeah.
That means that during that time, they knew something about the Masons we didn't.
Yes.
And because they wouldn't allow you to join a church without sort of getting rid of that allegiance, that tells me you probably shouldn't be a Christian and a Mason.
Here's another thing is that the Masons, because they have these different degrees and you learn more and more and more and more as you ascend that ladder, right? And so people who've come out of it, who've made it to those final degrees are like, bro, it gets nuts.
Yeah.
Like it gets really weird. They have you saying things, doing things that any Christian with a conscience would not be.
I'm a 3rd degree black belt in Taekwondo.
And so that's why a lot of guys start because they see the service, the community service aspect.
Yeah.
They see the brotherhood aspect, and those things are good. Those aren't bad things. And so because of that, they'll become a part of the Masons, and then they begin to go through, the different degrees. They get higher up and they realize, oh my gosh, they're starting to name this higher power.
Yeah.
And it does have some similarities to Satan. You also, dude, I don't know if you know this, Joseph Smith and the Mormons, he was a Mason.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes, he uses a lot of their symbology in their symbology, and even the way that a lot of Mormons don't really know what Mormons really believe until they get further up in the organization.
Yeah.
He organized it like the Masons too.
Yeah.
Look, so back in the 80s, I tried to join the Masons and started going to the barbecues and doing the secret handshakes and all that. And let me just say, those guys are weird, man. I had to get out of there quick. Instead, I joined Herbalife, and Herbalife really gave me the family I was looking for,
Oh, I'm pretty sure Herbalife is a cult too. Dude, the idea of Satan being rejected by the Masons, that's hilarious. Oh, listener, if you heard that real loud, that was our smooth co-host,
smooth talking,
Eric, hitting the mic with his phone.
It's not that big of a deal.
It was pretty
Calm
funny.
down.
It was pretty
Calm
funny.
down. I did. We wanted to end this episode with another listener email. A couple episodes back, we asked you guys for your worst food experiences. And I think last episode, maybe we talked about or a couple episodes ago, we talked about someone getting a fly in the bottom of their cup.
Yeah.
But this one might top that.
This one's gross.
This one's really gross. So again, this comes from Brittany. Thank you for your contributions to this episode. But she says, I was at a Waffle House in the evening, and I was sitting at the bar eating my dinner.
Yeah,
First off, you know you're a true blue Waffle Houser if you're sitting at the bar.
That's a little much.
Give me another waffle, Jake.
Brittany, we need you to make some better life decisions.
Yeah, give me some more butter. Well, you've had enough. I'll tell you when I've had enough. While sitting there eating my dinner, I saw a female cook on the grill, and she yelled because she burned herself. After burning herself, she picked up a pickle, rubbed it on her burnt hand.
I guess it was cold.
I don't know. And then proceeded to put this pickle on a hamburger she was making. So she burned herself and grabbed
disgusting.
a pickle. I wonder if it's because of the vinegar or something in it. But rubbed her burnt hand and then put it on the sandwich she was making. And she said, I about gagged and spit my food out and paid and left. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, that's one of those things you had to be there to believe it. But guess what, Brittany? I know you've been back to Waffle House.
She's been back. She's addicted.
Because you know what? I've been back after seeing some weird things at Waffle House.
She can't help it. She loves it.
You know, there's nothing worse than like getting something nasty like that at your favorite place and then just like picking the hair out and moving on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we love Waffle House.
Yeah.
Tiff and I, if we just like want a quick, meal at night, whatever, we don't want to cook or whatever, like Waffle House is on the list.
So someone got a skin burn pickle.
I guess the cook just thought, you know what, this is this person's fault that I got burned.
Yeah.
So
let me rub my skin,
burnt skin
on it, give it a little extra. Take her to Flavor Town.
There's something interesting in this burger that I just can't put my finger on it.
Is it marmalade?
It's
getting hints of truffle, cocoa truffle.
I taste the iron.
Yes. Burnt skin.
Yeah,
I'm
blood.
tasting burnt skin. Wonderful.
Of course, the hamburger is itself burnt flesh.
It is. It probably didn't taste anything different. Well, that was the episode. We thank you guys so much for joining us, and thank you for listening to
Not the Sermon.
Thanks for listening. This podcast is a production of Victory Fellowship Church in Thomasville, Georgia. Eric and Jamie can be reached at emailing notthesermon@gmail.com.
Father to the fatherless, defender of the little kids, gracious and compassionate.